Where is this place we've come to? We don't know what to say. We long to see each other and are frightened of that day. You met me in a barren place. You walked me to the hill. We were so good for each other then. I know we could be still. You couldn't have come at a better time. You couldn't have come at a better time. You couldn't have come at a better time. Not if you tried. Oh no, not if you tried. Oh no.
Culture, heritage and environmental conservation are high on the list of priorities for the people of West Belfast. So much so that for some years now, many community activists and many community groups have given their time and energies to putting together a very conceivable plan for a tourism and a cultural heritage project here, somewhere on the peripheral countryside around West Belfast. Many sites, in fact some 6 in all, have been considered as the possible location for the Cultural Heritage Centre. The first of these sites, championed by Mr. Terry Enright of the Black Mountain Action Group, is the site that we are on at the moment, high up on Black Mountain, just above Dermot Hill Housing Estate.
On the question of access to the mountain, there's absolutely no problem whatsoever, because we are approximately 10 to 15 minutes from the centre of the town. Where we would envisage the Heritage Centre being is ideally situated between both communities, with ideal access for both communities on the interface between Nationalist Belfast and Loyalist Belfast. One of the reasons why I believe that this site here would be ideal and indeed unique is because of the beautiful natural setting that is here, and also because of the history and the whole cultural heritage that's embodied in this particular area. Now, we have our own plans, as I say, put forward in a development and preservation plan, where we list the siting of the Heritage Centre just on the site of where the linen mill was at one time, so that people, when they visit the site, particularly children, can come and step back into history. And again, when they look up and walk onto the mountain, not only to see the beautiful scenery and the beautiful views, but to have interpretation centres. Probably we would envisage also some sort of a hostel accommodation with an equestrian centre, with pathways leading up onto the mountain, whereby people can enjoy all of the scenery and all of the natural history that's embodied in this particular spot. One of the most important aspects of this is the whole cross-community aspect of it, whereby the people from this area for generations, for hundreds of years, have worked together to service and to live on this mountain. Already there's tremendous interest in the site, and there's tremendous interest in the whole area, and the tourist potential for it is fantastic. Now, last year during the West Belfast Festival, I brought 40 Basques on one occasion. On another occasion there was a whole group of French people come. Apart from that, there's the whole educational aspect whereby from I have been appointed to my post, which was in October, as Environmental Education Officer, I brought over 1,200 children onto the mountain. I've also brought numerous other groups, youth clubs, so there is a tremendous interest and people are learning more and more about it. People, if they come here, and people if they walk on the mountain, we'd be able to pinpoint other interesting places, particularly in West Belfast, where they could go to. There's people like myself who have a vast knowledge of the immediate area and the distant city, and can point out various points of interest to them. So it's an ideal jumping off point for people to come to in order to see all of the west of the city.
I champion this site for a number of reasons. My first reason would be its natural setting, its closeness to West Belfast, and that any possible development here would not be a blot on the landscape. As the crow flies, it would be approximately a mile from the outer reaches of Andersonstown and Lenadoon. If you were coming from North Belfast to here, the easy access route is from the M1 motorway up Suffolk Road and directly into the Glens. If you were a potential investor for this site, one of the most important things that I could say, it would be £1 million well spent, because West Belfast desires it and needs it. In our first year, we would hope to see a phase scale of 20 jobs in the first year. As it progresses, we would hope to see up till a maximum or even beyond 60 jobs. The local community hopefully would then have an off-spin for local jobs in there and for creating internal income for the community. Our other point is that because we are close to the industrial estates of Teelings Green and the Glenwood Industrial Estate, we see this as a potential plus to attract investment for the area. I follow the river, which then takes me to the Moss Rock. I go there at this time of the year. It's very important to see it because it's out in the bluebells. I would then go further upriver, go through the small pass and climb to the rumbling hole side, the waterfall. And from there on in, I would come down the other side or go further right onto the mountains. The Moss Rock is associated with the penal times. At a particular time, the local priest, he stayed in a number of the houses in the glen and moved from house to house. A Protestant woman of the name of Belle Steele, she looked after the vestments for the local priest and carried them to them. If the priest went to the Moss Rock and was holding the Mass, she and her family would have brought the vestments to the site. Around the site on the local hills, they had watchmen watching out for the local military. The natural waterfall site is called the Rumbling Hole. It originally got its name from stone pebbles being washed down by the water coming off the mountain, and it created bowls in the river floor. And what happened was, as the stones were rattling around, they created these circular formations. The stones would have cracked, and what would have happened was, as they came down with the water, they created this sound, and the water also percolating through the cracks and crevices of the rocks give that sound. It was a popular picnic site for old Belfast. On the rock face, which is below us, number one, there is an abundance of wildlife. Number two, we have a number of quarries close by here where we could hope to generate mountaineering instruction, rock climbing instruction for all levels of skills. At the present moment, it is a wide area. It is covered in obsolete buildings. The buildings are no use. They are a blot in the landscape at the moment. The important point is there is a large acreage. It has an abundant tree cover. It is completely covered. Very little seen from the road, even though we are looking at it from above. From the roadway, it cannot easily be seen and would be fit in with the natural setting.
We have visited two of the sites that are championed by community activists. We've listened to two very strong arguments. Seems to me that Terry Enright and Jim McCabe have equal arguments to present to champion their location. But something else occurs to me. It doesn't matter which site we choose in the end. It's just important that we do bring a cultural heritage centre to West Belfast.
Come to, we don't know what to say. We long to see each other and are frightened of that day. You met me in a barren place. You walked me to the hill. We were so good for each other then. I know we could be still. You couldn't have come at a better time. You couldn't have come at a better time. You couldn't have come at a better time. Not if you tried. Oh no, not if you tried. Oh no. We have 500 questions between you and me. But when you look into my eyes, my love, tell me what you see. Is it something you're not sure of? Is it something true and fine? Or is it just another case of the right thing at the wrong time? You couldn't have come at a better time. You couldn't have come at a better time.